Sorry guys, if you're on the restream there, yeah, you got to say something, man. If you're on the restream there, apologize. I had the mic muted. But we had set up this call before we started streaming, and I was talking with Mayor, and I didn't even realize we had the stream muted. Mayor stepped away. If you guys want to look at anything, just holler at me. I apologize. I have my freaking. That's embarrassing. Hey, we're working out the kinks. Yeah, we've been on vacation. This is actually the first time we've even streamed in a couple of weeks. Here, let's take a pause here. Take a little pause and we'll regroup. How about that? Yeah, we'll go look at Soul. Embarrassing. Oh, you got me. I've been talking on mute for like a good half hour. Ugh. All right, I'm taking the clothes.
I'm back.
Yeah, I just realized I've been streaming for the last hour or so, good half hour with my mic muted. So this is gonna be
Oh
a
shit.
great stream, buddy.
Ah,
Really,
dude.
really
My
knocking him dead on this one.
oh no. How is
I
it
was like, I was
muted
like,
if it's not muted for me?
I said, well, I was chatting with you on on our call, and then started restreaming with the fucking mic muted. And so we probably had
Fuck.
like three people, and they were like, "Why isn't this guy answering or
Yeah.
saying anything?" But hey,
So
my bad.
my bad because I was streaming on my channel and they were like something's wrong. Biff's mic's not working. I was like, "Oh, it's not piping in from Zoom." So I thought it was just my stream cuz I'm like
That's
I can hear
okay.
him. Oh, fuck.
Well,
Whatever.
I'm
You
glad
want to
I
go? Do you want to start over and tell us about engine? No, I'm
yeah,
just
this
kidding.
time with like less fail. Here, how about this? Let's go back and talk about engine. Engine is really good. Okay, we're done now.
Engine moon.
All right, all right. Let me reshuffle here. Let me reshuffle, guys. Let me reshuffle. All right. So if you're just tuning in now, hi, I'm Biff. We got Mayor joining us as well here. Bitcoin may or may not be making new all-time highs. It came very close today, so we're doing a lot of chart watching. A lot of people are out there. If you want to know why that's important or why people are talking about Bitcoin right now, making some historical run. I think the daily actually did finish at the highest ever. So the highest ever daily close, daily big deal, right? So the question now is, are we looking at continuation upwards? Are we going to range around here before we make some conviction, and cruise on? What does that mean for altcoins? If you guys want to look at anything, holler at me, let me know. Uh, Damn. Again, I apologize for streaming for the last half hour with no mics. But hey, I'm human.
Actually,
This is a
you
real
guys are.
show, clearly. So, we're approachable too. And appreciate the comments and appreciate you guys going through dilemma and actually trying to tell him that. Maybe next time he'll actually put two and two together.
Oh, you still got viewers, man.
Listen, man, it's not
Thank you
about
for the hardcore viewers that stuck it out with us.
it's not about
Let's look at some NFTs. Let's look at some degen shit.
yeah, we can look at whatever you want. You want to share too?
Now,
All right. Well, what the hell you want
this
to
is too
look at,
much
man?
work. Pull up OpenSea. Let's look at lonely the have you seen the Lonely Frog Lambo Club?
I can't believe I just did that whole engine
Yeah, that's
spiel.
painful.
Oh God, man, I was really telling you guys about Engine 2. Does 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 whoever cared about Engine actually want me to talk about it again? Because I'll
Well,
talk
my
about it for
stream
another
shut
hour.
down, but we'll do it next time.
This has been the no. I'm gonna put a whole thing together on Engine now. Matter of fact, come to Miami. Hit me up, which we have to talk about all over again now too. Come to Miami in November, and I'll talk your ear off about engine, and I'll demo every damn engine game for you there is that I like. Anyway, what do you want to look at in
Zoom.
OpenSea? I'm not gonna log in
Oh no.
because everything's
Pull
in
up.
the dump.
Let's look at
All my NFTs are in the dumps right now.
let's look at curio cards in the fucking shit tank. Pain. You know what it is though? It's Ethereum's like up. Ethereum's running, so it's not that surprising, but man.
It's a little painful still. Yes, if you're talking about USD prices, whatever, but you just gotta hope that hope. You just gotta know that something you like value or you're involved in a cool project like curio cards. It's a little bit.
If
It's a
I had
little bit more than just short term trying to flip some of this stuff. If you're looking at flipping NFTs, that's a whole different. That's right. That's an entire discussion in itself.
Yeah, if I had some extra Ethereum right now, I would be buying more Mona Lisas.
I mean, that's a very
If they
attractive
go
price to
to
me, but what do I know, right? And right
if
now things are moving, like you said, things are very liquid in Bitcoin and might be making new to all-time highs very soon. So, people understand that Ethereum at 4K right now could turn into 10K very soon, and then all of a sudden, right, you missed out
10K,
on your
it's gotta
opportunity.
get that's like $1 trillion market cap or something. That's pretty up there. But I mean, yeah, six, it's probably going to six.
Any specifics on the curios you guys want to look at? Thanks
Nah.
for joining
Let's
too, Rem. I appreciate. God,
pull
so
up
fucking embarrassed.
it's okay.
Would fail.
Pull up bro, there's girls on Twitch friggin' doing ASMR
Yeah, but they
videos
got
for 8
big
hours a
boobs
day.
and stuff, man. I don't, we're just a couple of nerds talking crypto
Yeah.
games, man.
We're dropping that alpha though. Um pull
Maybe I
up
could put up some NFTs in there.
Lonely Frog Lambo Club.
Oh yeah, we were talking about this one.
This is
The
an
10,000 item
affordable,
one.
yeah. This is an affordable project. It's not, I mean, it's
Yeah,
not
until
doing
you have to pay
anything.
the gas fee to buy the floor price, though.
Yeah. But well, actually, pro tip, swap into Rapt Ethereum and start placing offers on these and let the impatient sellers pay your gas fees.
Is there a
That's what I do.
procedure somewhere out there that you've read that is good that kind of explains Rapt Ethereum or how to duck some of those fees like that?
No, that's just how it works. If whoever initiates the transaction, so if you go to Uniswap, you can like wrap Ethereum, you can wrap a bunch of Ethereum for like
I meant
eight
something that we can like
eight
share with
bucks.
people, to like put in chat.
What do you mean? Oh,
Like,
how to do
yeah, yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah.
No, you just go to Uniswap and wrap your Ethereum, and then you come back to OpenSea and like click one of those frogs. So you just go make offer, and you have to make offers in Wrapped Ethereum. It won't let you make an offer in regular Ethereum. If you buy it, you can buy it with regular Ethereum. So Wrapped Ethereum upgrades it to like the NFT token standard, or it makes it like an ERC20, I think. So it's tradable. But when you make an offer, then if this guy accepts your offer, he pays the gas. So like it's a floor piece, he might pay your gas. So like that's what I do. I just had a bunch of bids hit where like I was lowballing people and I got filled on some Pepes and they paid all my gas fees. So it was beautiful.
How have your Pepe's been doing? That was like one of the
Pull
markets
up
that actually still been doing well.
pull up just type one word, type Pepe Smalls.
In OpenSea?
Yeah, Pepe Smalls. And then just hit enter. Just hit enter. And then sort by, oh, there they are. You can sort low to high. I've been like accumulating these. There's 1,000 of them. And I've been putting up offers for like 0.05 and people are selling them to me and paying the gas fees. It's like a well distributed card and I like it. And there's only 1,000 of them. It's like 2017, I think. It's like all these rare Pepes were minted on Counterparty, which is BTC. So like I think these are like these rare Pepes, man. Like, okay, so when you click this, you see holders. You see holders, yeah. Like most of them aren't this distributed, but one guy's got 149. Like at least he doesn't have like 60% of the supply or 50% of the supply. So
Right. So
that's
that's what you kind of
pretty,
want to see it spread out across.
yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
But go back and I'll explain. These can be a friggin' minefield. Go to that description and scroll down. And oh, that should be, oh, this is a fake one. Okay, this is a fake one. So that XCP Explorer link, that should be clickable. So I would not buy this one. I think this, scroll up a little bit. I think this is a fake one. No, scroll up on the main window. Yeah, this is a fake one. Reseller, I know the account, it's fake. So go back and we'll find a real one. So we just showed you what a fake one looks like. So pull up the one that's like 0.069. It's more likely to be OG rare Pepes. I've bought from this guy, so I know this is one's going to be real. Now you see it's in the emblem vault. So these are minted on Bitcoin on the Counterparty chain, Counterparty wallet. And then go back real quick. Nope. Okay, yeah. So go to the description and scroll down on the description window. And then, okay, XCP Explorer, click that. And now this is what you need to look at. Amount. Pepe Smalls amount. It's one. It's a whole number. Some of these vaults can contain fractional pieces, so you're not getting a whole card. Or it could say 0, which is an empty vault. So this is the most important thing. You need to check that. And then you want to click the Pepe Smalls text asset. Click that. Click it. There you go. Okay. Ooh, yeah. So now go up. You want to see this total supply is 1,000. That's the other thing you want to check. Some of these rare Pepes, there's like 10 million of them. So you want to check, make sure you're getting a whole unit, and then you want to check the supply isn't crazy. So these take a little bit of work, but it's really fun hunting for different Pepes. And there's series 1 from like 2015 or 2016 cards, and you can find some really old shit. There's a lot of like crazy history with these. They're fun hunting for and seeing if you got a good one or a bad one. And like the Michael Jordan ones are going for like 30, 40, 50 grand. I can't hear you again, Biff. Are you
Oh, I'm
there?
not talking.
Okay.
I'm still pissed off that I've been, that I went through the whole thing without my mic on,
Okay.
but I was thinking about
It won't be the
like
last time you rant about engine.
I was thinking about whether or not I wanted to swoop some of these up, but like how I would pick them or,
Yeah.
I'm glad that we went through this because I've looked through these and I didn't really understand counterparty or like what to look at. But now at least I understand like, hey, you need to go in here, look at the specific, I don't know if you want to call this a contract or whatever, where I'm actually looking at here. But
Yeah. So it's
that was a good
vaulted.
idea to go through this. And I didn't
It's
even
in,
know that you could look at this like this either.
yeah. So if the cards that are like under 100 supply, they're like all like over 1 Ethereum. If they're older, like they're just crazy. Type Jordan Pepe. one word, Jordan Pepe. Just hit enter and then do last sale. Do like recently sold. Oh, this isn't even the recently sold. This isn't even the good Jordan Pepe. So yeah, people are paying big money for these. But there's another Jordan card that's like 40, 50 grand. That's older than this one. This one's not that old. This one was like 2 Ethereum a little while ago. So see, it's like series 34, card 48. The series 1 cards are expensive. The earlier series, like the 2016 cards, are expensive. And there's like a database you can go to, like I forget what it is, rare Pepe database.
Were all these rare Pepes the same like artist and project?
No, so they're like community submitted, and like I don't know, there's like a whole bunch of history to it, but
But the project took art from multiple artists
oh
and then made
yeah,
it.
it was like you had to submit it, and then okay, go to your web browser and go to well, actually don't, because there could be like some crazy nudity or something.
Yeah,
I'm
don't
not
be,
sure.
oh, dude. This stream has already been failed hard enough. Like, we don't need
I
to
was
like
gonna say go
put
to
some virus on my computer at the
if
same
you
time
want to
too.
look at the collection, you have to go to rarepepedirectory.com, and they have like the series 1. So I'm on it, and I'll tell you to like pull up a card. I'll find a
I've been out there before.
oh yeah, so here's the collection. So like the UFO Pepe is a banger. But like the Jordan card we looked at is expensive, but the oldest Jordan card is like it's like the first sports NFT on blockchain. It's
And the
rare
series
Pepe, rare Pepe SS, rare Pepis.
is this,
It's
and you
so
said the
funny
series
though.
1 is the oldest.
Yeah, go to series 3. That's got the Jordan Pepe. Like these are so funny, dude, and like they're so dope. But like you might find one that you like, and it's like, oh, there's 20 million of them, and you're like, fuck, I'm not gonna buy that. There's a Jordan, rare Pepis, slam dunk Pepe. Like these are just so good, man. They're so funny. So like this one is like it was going for like 30. It's probably like 50, 60 grand now.
And there's only 250 of them.
Yeah, and then it's like there's these things called dispensers on Bitcoin, or like I don't even understand how it works, but it's like a dispenser that's loaded with cards. And if you send BTC to it, it spits out the card. If you send like enough for like 10 cards, it'll send you back 10 cards. So there's actually arbitrage opportunity between the counterparty supplies and the Emblem Vault OpenSea supplies. People are paying a premium on Ethereum. So you got like Bitcoin OGs like stacking Pepes. So like I'm super bullish on these because you have like Bitcoin OGs, like screw like Ethereum NFTs, bro. I don't even have to like convert to Ethereum. I can just like, the maxis, like I can get these OG, like I'm more OG than you because I got the rare Pepes. Like these are so sweet to me. Like hunting for them is fun. Like validating once you're comfortable, like that you're not getting ripped off. It's like fun, like that you have to like verify that it's real and that like you're like looking
It
for
does feel
low
like you're treasure
supply.
hunting, and it does feel like you're touching history and it's old. And I digging through some of that other stuff that we did, I felt like that too. I think that's cool, and that makes you kind of feel like you're actually collecting something
Yeah.
rare and old, right?
And it's sweet because like it's so hard, like it's kind of like a lot of work. People aren't willing to do it. So like you can find gems where it's like, there's only 100 of these. And I mean, the ones that once you get like below like 500 supply, like the prices start getting crazy. But like I got like a Darth Vader one, and it's not the first Star Wars one, but uh like it's like half an Ethereum or something, or quarter an Ethereum. Oh, Han Pepe, that's the first one. Series 4, Han Pepe. like I just crack up when I see these. Like you have to like get that type of humor, but like there's a Han Pepe on the right. Like it's like everything was pepified in like 2016, and like people were getting mad because they're like, Pepe's are racist, and it was like, if you were into it, you're like, yeah, they're totally racist, man. Han Pepe, like
Right.
they just pepified everything. Like it's Pepe everything, and it's so funny. And then it's like these cards that have like perks and powers
I
on them. Like,
remember the whole Pepe madness, but I had no idea in, 2015, 2016 that people were minting these on the blockchain. Like,
nah, I didn't know about these at
that's
all,
just so cool. I mean, and especially like minting them on Counterparty or Bitcoin or whatever layer you want to call that. Like, that's just neat. I mean,
bro.
it's just really neat.
There are no Han Pepes on Ethereum. I wonder what these are going for. There's like 3 on OpenSea, and
What do the stats like do anything, or are they just for fun?
no, it's just straight bullshit. It's
Yeah, I've
uh
noticed that
like
they're just for fun, but
The McAfee Pepe DApp one is like you get like a bonus for a hammock and like something.
right.
It's just like ridiculous shit.
Ponzi
UFO
Pepe. I probably
Pepes.
need the Ponzi Pepe. 100% passive income.
Damn, bro, this looks like a freaking steal. I'm seeing Han Pepe supply is 100, and there's one for 2 Ethereum. Now that sounds like a lot, but this is OG. There's only 100 of them for 2 Ethereum. That's an OG card. This was minted in 2016. That's got to be the first. I'd have to look again, but that could be the first Star Wars. That seems like such a good value, bro. And this is a real one. Han Pepe, 2 Ethereum. Let's look at the
Are
holders.
you looking at it on
Yeah.
OpenSea?
Yeah, like I'll look at OpenSea and you can look at the collection. Uh See that? 2 Ethereum, and it's legit. So one dude's got 35 of them. It's not bad. Dude, that makes me want to like dump some stuff off to get this sucker. You got to look at the Explorer. So it's 1 unit. You got a whole unit, and it's 1% of the supply. So you know that it's 100 supply. But if you click the asset name, you can verify, yes, there's 100, and then you can look at the distribution if you want to click holders. And oh, the other thing is you need to check the address when you see it says XCP Explorer on the OpenSea page. That address you need to make sure that address matches like in your browser, and that you're not on like a phishing site.
Gotcha.
So if you're looking to get rare Pepes, match the address, confirm that you have 1 whole unit, and check the supply, and you're good to go. And there are some on Polygon too. There's a Polygon emblem vault, which is sweet. Like I'm buying up all the ones I see on, if they're good and I want them, no gas. It's beautiful.
What is this block scan asset info? Oh, click it. Oh,
I don't know.
probably just downloaded a virus. Congratulations.
Oh boy.
Well,
Princess Tauli Pepe.
we didn't usher in a Bitcoin new all-time high. I was talking about that too, with my mic muted.
Not surprising. I mean,
But again, if you don't care about Bitcoin because you're not holding any, it definitely affects all the markets, and everything's driven by Bitcoin. It's gravity that everything revolves around currently in cryptocurrency. So that's why it is a big deal. And it's historical, and ETFs have been in the news a lot. But it could be some sort of sell the news event too. I'm not ruling that out. We could be ranging around in here for weeks. There's no guarantees if and when anything's going to happen. With that being said, it definitely looks like we're looking to test it. In a nutshell, you know, if your favorite altcoin is being bled out right now, like most of them are, which is kind of like most of the setups we were looking at and also talking about on mute, most of the setups look very similar, right? Bleeding against Bitcoin, desperately trying to search for some support. That trend will probably continue as long as Bitcoin is busting through supports and or, you know, doing anything super volatile, right? So when Bitcoin is volatile, you know, alts are volatile. And when Bitcoin's going up, usually alts will follow, you know, kind of pattern once it stables off or rounds off. If it's going down, it's going to follow it only, you know, multiplied by whatever. So that's my altcoin versus Bitcoin in a nutshell. But you know, definitely something that we'll continue to follow.
It's a
And
big daily too, man. I mean, it's a
well,
decent
everything has
sized
been topped
daily.
out. Like all the time frames, the momentum is up. You know, there this 4 hour, this daily that we're looking at right now looks like it's, you know, peaked out. This 4 hour looks peaked out. Like, you know, it might be time to just reload for maybe a day or two too. So
And
we'll
then
see.
like if you look at the weekly, it's like we broke 52 and then we printed two candles in what we're at the beginning of this weekly. So really it's like we only broke 52 like 2 weeks ago. If we came back down and bounced off of 52, like it
Yeah,
wouldn't
no,
blow
here's
my
your
mind.
three really solid, you know, they call those like white soldiers, right? Which usually indicates continuation from this weekly look, right? All your momentum is up, the money flow is pointed up, you know, everything's still indicating runs up. So we'll
But it
see.
wouldn't be crazy if you ranged from like 64 to 52 like
I
that.
don't think
Wouldn't
it'd be
you
crazy at
could
all to range in here, right?
yeah, you could range there, it could break down. I mean,
50 has
if
yet to
it
be tested. This ended up being some sort of support here around 54,
what
55, but
about dominance? What's dominance looking like?
I haven't even looked at a dominance chart.
Because that would be interesting. Like that's something Bitcoin likes to do is just like range and reclaim dominance. And every time it drops, the alts bleed, and then it rips, and the alts bleed on the way up, and it's
Let's
like
just look at see what's popping
pain.
on coin lore.
You can pull
Market
up
caps.
BTCD in trading view.
Yeah, I know. I figured I'd see what else is out here. It's at 46% currently. I like looking at here
I'm
just to
looking
kind of
at it.
see like what crazy altcoin is like doing some kind of crazy run. 150% in the last 24 hours. Coin lore is actually kind of is a cool site with lots of other tools built into it as well. Any charts while my mic is actually working? Oh, I had a request for Sol. So a lot of
Solana,
people into Solana. It's like the new hip
of
thing to be into
course.
these days. Now they are doing all kinds of cool things. Yeah, NFTs. I've seen all kinds of neat projects. I've seen
It's looking like a
games
bull
even pop
flag.
up.
It's looking like a bull flag on the daily, man.
All of
Oh,
these
you got to get an
USD
older
pairs
chart. Pull up Binance.
coiling up.
Or oh, you got it. No, never mind. I thought you're cut. You're good. You're good.
We can look at the Bitcoin pair as well. Yeah, there's not really anything else in there other than Binance.
No, your indicator was chopping it off. I thought you had a young chart,
Oh,
but
I gotcha.
yeah, that looks like a bull flag. I mean, it's gonna bust
You
topside,
can
I
draw
would
flags
think.
on a lot of these things,
Yeah, symmetrical triangles for days.
right? Usually, when I'm like super bullish, I want these, right? Like usually, that's when you get it.
Right.
A lot of people call symmetrical triangles or these like
Yeah, it's not
ascending
like a
triangles. So what's a good example of that? Tesla, probably.
ascending.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah. Those usually bust topside in crypto.
you can draw lines on something, after it busts through whatever
Like
top.
Ethereum just broke, or Ethereum's looking at like an ascending triangle to me.
Once it makes that
But
triangle, and then it breaks out like that, finds support and breaks out. So Tesla just bounced off new all-time highs. So we were talking about timing markets too, while we're looking at these charts. Macro, right? So understanding that the Dow is probably going to make new all-time highs very soon as well. It's very close, closed up very near all-time highs today. This did not look good down here, right? I think we had even commented like, hey, it looks like maybe we're looking at a sell-off event, and here we are, right, staring at all-time highs again. Bitcoin is absolutely,
yeah,
you know, a USD driven pair as well. So any USD market right now is inflated money.
would
We've
be
printed.
interesting if we got a decoupling, because that's something I always remind people. People say Bitcoin's going to do this and that. The entire Bitcoin chart, you got to remember Bitcoin, when was the Genesis block? 2009, January 3rd,
I always
2009.
use 2008, but yeah, it's 2009.
So, well, it was, thought of in 2008, but I think the Genesis block is January 3rd, 2009, we believe. But the entire Bitcoin chart history lives inside of the greatest expansion in US equities history. So like 2008 was the collapse. So we were already coming off the bottom. So like we don't know what Bitcoin looks like during an equities recession.
And here's we can talk about some theory with that too. Obviously here's your March sell-off, in the markets, but anytime you're talking about an inflationary currency like USD versus a deflationary currency like Bitcoin, it almost seems like they're just going in opposite directions, right? Like you could call Bitcoin the singularity, where it literally just kind of sucks up everything around it, like assets or money or whatever. That's what it's kind of designed. Well, it's not what's kind of designed to do. That is what it's designed to do, right? The theory part of this comes into play that, like, okay, during this event, we know, right, that the US Fed literally printed 40% of our entire money supply worth of US dollars and injected it into these markets. And that's what you see go up. Now, the question becomes, right, if you had bought in one of these dips way back when, like, this actually looks like a real market, this run up just looks something like very different, like what you're saying, which is pretty much the entire history of Bitcoin, isn't it?
Mhm.
So the question, is like, well, one, is this someday going to come back down? But if they continually just print more money and inject it into this thing, right, is
Yeah.
it a free market? Right? Or is
You
this
just
fractional reserve banking working like it's supposed to, making millionaires, allowing home ownership,
Oh yeah, we're all
whatever?
going to be millionaires. Everybody's going to be a millionaire.
Sure, right? If it costs you,
It is making millionaires in Zimbabwe. Everybody's a billionaire.
buddy, I've
So
spent $75 on a tank of gas today, bro, and I can say first world problems because I have them, right? I'm not
I
complaining, but damn, inflation is definitely upon us. So
take a look at throw the Dow Jones on the weekly and take a look at the 2015 rollover during the Obama administration. And if you remember, if you guys are into TradFi or any of that, this was when you got to go back more. This was when the Federal Reserve started doing quantitative easing, and that's where you have the double bottom. So like that rollover 2015 double bottom, to me that rollover right before the double bottom with the that's where QE was created. that rollover looks very similar to what we're doing right now.
This was nasty. This was tough too. This was really
Oh, it
tough
was
to,
insane.
if you were invested and, watched, your retirement just get destroyed here.
Welcome to
That was
crypto.
tough. That was tough for
Paper
me
hands.
personally. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, right?
Clubs
At this point
wrecked club.
it looked like we were shaping up for another 2008. And then what would he do? The Fed came in and said, "Hey, well, let's print $9 trillion." And now we're here, right?
And then it's
So
like, why would you want to hold dollars? Like
nobody holds dollars. I keep saying that too. Nobody holds cash. Nobody
the
holds.
game
There are
is
no
get rid
wealthy
of your
people
dollars.
holding enormous amounts of cash. There are a lot of companies that hold a lot of cash, but no privately wealthy people are holding any cash. So take
It's
that for
get
whatever
rid
you
of
will.
your dollars, panic sell the FRN, and get something that's going to appreciate against the dollar. Because the dollar's
Well,
not going to
here's
appreciate against the
we were talking
dollar.
about this too. I don't move my my Bitcoin savings is my Bitcoin savings. I don't move in and out of US dollars or look to tether up or like cover losses when it comes to
No.
Bitcoin. I'm just looking to accumulate more. Now that's easy for me to say in my strategy because I'm also exposed to real estate and US dollars and a lot of other markets, and traditional markets as well. But that's just kind of my, personal strategy, my investment strategy when it comes to Bitcoin. I'm only looking to accumulate more, right, at whatever price. Uh, when it comes to savings long term, saving United States dollars without, any sort of investment vehicle attached to it really doesn't make a lot of sense, especially right now. We're in a hyperinflationary period where the US dollar is literally, weakening, right? So saving US dollars long term makes no sense. Now, putting it into Bitcoin does make sense. It's a deflationary currency. There will only be 21 million of them ever in existence. Yada, 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 right? There's 17, 16 million of them in circulation. That number will only go infinitely down. And when I tell it to people, they're still shocked. And what does that mean, right? Why will the number of Bitcoin in circulation go down? Aren't they mining that stuff? You guys got to remember, right? People die, right? People lose wallets every day. Things happen. Bitcoin's not passed from wallet to wallet for whatever reason. There are millions of Bitcoins sitting in addresses that today that will never move for a lot of those reasons, right? So there you go. There you have it, right? So as more people come onto the platform, that number will continue to increase, right? As far as lost or, Bitcoins that are removed from circulation and will never be used. They'll never be transferred. They'll never move out of whatever wallet address they're in today. That's how I kind of look at it. So securing Bitcoin, not only just in one wallet, but like trying to secure it in multiple places, is definitely something that I, personally try to do. And it's something that, using a public money system like Bitcoin or some of these other ones makes it very easy to do. So using it as tools, right? I keep saying that too. Bitcoin doesn't fix anything. People using Bitcoin can fix stuff. People using Bitcoin, leveraging it as a tool, leveraging the power of it, storing wealth, using it to leverage things to happen in the world that we desperately need to have happen right now. In my opinion, that's what gets me excited about this stuff. So
Right on.
have I ranted enough? Do you want to talk about
What's
Engine now and why Engine is so awesome?
what's the S&P look like?
God, Bitcoin's been going down ever since we've been doing this show too. We're literally just been bringing it down.
Ah, man, it's not gonna bust on the first one.
I haven't
You
looked.
gotta pound that
Very
level,
similar,
man.
very similar to the Dow.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of up this last few weeks. And again, people are asking
But
me, like, does it make sense? Well, no. From a pure economic standpoint, right? Are we in this economic recovery period? No. This is purely about money being injected into these markets, and a lot of these big corporations and companies that are weighted in these indexes and averages are doing well, but this is not necessarily because the economy is doing well. The economy is just kind of in a weird spot right now. Some things are doing well, some things are getting crushed still. So
you know what else is
take it
crazy?
for what we will.
Gold, bro. All these commodities are up. gold can't even break a new
Yeah,
high.
that's really
It can't even take out.
strange too.
Rest in peace, Peter Schiff. Gold cannot even break the 2011 top. It is crazy.
I haven't looked at like the gold shares chart in a while either, but I know that gold should be performing, usually does in
And it
market.
probably will at some point, but it's just crazy that pull up like GLD or gold. Oh, you're on GLD.
Was there something else you wanted me to pull up?
Uh you can just type in
Oh, just like the
gold.
gold symbol.
Yeah, it's like gold ounces.
It's yeah, I don't remember. It's CL.1 and no, that's blue.
CFDs on gold 1 ounce. Just type gold. Uh CFD, the currency.com one. Pull or that top one, that top one. Hit the top one. It's like the price of an ounce. And now Bitcoin is
That could be
about,
consolidating too, though, man. I mean, honestly,
yeah, but look at it on like a monthly and look at like the it's not,
it hasn't been performing, right?
yeah, but
Clearly,
look at the
but the
previous
stock market has
top.
been up too a little bit.
But how mind blowing is it that it's below 2011 gold, the gold top?
Yeah, you'd think it would
So
be following Bitcoin, right?
when you compare Bitcoin
Well, again,
never
though,
breaks below its previous high,
when
and
you're
gold's
talking
taken a
about
decade.
the old school adage of, duck and cover risk off assets like gold was, right? We're not really in a risk off period in this market, right? That's not risk off. That's the opposite of risk off. So
But I bet I don't really follow gold, but I would be willing to bet that very soon
this looks
it's
awesome.
gonna it's gonna cost so much money to mine gold that at $1,700 an ounce, it's not gonna be it's not going to be possible to mine gold at 1,700 an ounce because of the resources, the prices of fuel and all the other resources it takes to pull it out of the ground and refine it, you know,
Yeah, I have mixed
with the way
emotions on gold as a
oil is
commodity too.
headed and commodities. But
There's like a pure like metal standpoint. I mean, we can talk about that stuff too. Pretty much everything has gold in it. Electronics. It's a great conductor. I mean, there's a lot of good things that you can say about gold.
hey,
But from like a long term standpoint, I really think that the future, right? Like not only just like on this planet, but off planet. There's a lot of ways that we can increase our capacity for mining raw materials in the
how do you
future.
feel about tungsten? Have you
I'm not even
kept up
getting
with
into that stuff yet
the
because I don't know
tungsten
anything
wave?
about tungsten blocks or any of that other garbage.
I
I'm
had to
not a
buy one.
tungsten commodity trader.
I'm waiting for. Have you seen crypto Twitter going ape over the tungsten cubes?
Yes. And I don't
I
we can go look at that. I mean, I'm so
I just
Kobe fucking
ordered. I
confusing.
ordered a 1.5 incher, so I'm pretty hyped to
What the
see it.
hell is it? Give us the lowdown.
Uh, type in tungsten and then type Nick Carter because like that's where it all started. It was like Nick Carter had a tungsten cube. Just scroll down. Oh, accidentally. Uh, getting cold filled. I don't know. It might not show up, but it hit photos. Maybe it'll come up.
What is the whole thing with the
Filter.
tungsten cube, though?
It started with Nick Carter. Hit photos. So it was like he made a post like, I got this tungsten cube and it's so dense, like you wouldn't believe it. There's a picture. That's the OG. That's what started it off. So he's like, you wouldn't know, like, uh, I guess this is I accidentally got a gold filled tungsten cube. That's got to be a joke. But I don't know. He just said like it's so heavy and like you wouldn't believe how heavy it is. And then all the crypto Twitter dudes went over to like Tungsten.com or something, like whatever like the main supplier was, and they like bought out the inventory. So it was like there's a run on tungsten, and then they were like joking that
They're
like
moving the tungsten markets.
yeah, CT is moving the tungsten spot price or something. But it's just funny.
We'll have to goof around with that too. There's lots of cool things going on. Some of the Halloween stuff, just kind of looking at current events here. Anything else that you guys want to look at too, hit us up in the chat. Again, I apologize for the mic community. We always try to keep these interactive, which I would have explained at the beginning of the stream. So, you know, the more questions the guy, you know, that come from wherever, right? Chat, Telegram, we're on YouTube, streaming on Twitch as well. Anything like that, anything you want to look at, there's probably a good chance that somebody else will want to look at as well. So don't be shy ever. Come to us, ask questions. That's what we love. We'll be in Miami. We're helping to host that event, Miami Crypto Experience. Go check that out for sure. If you can join us in Miami, definitely do that. Because this is only the second ever event, so you're making history as well. And Miami is one of the cooler places to be, and definitely in November, it's like perfect weather. So if you can come join us, hang out. We're gonna, you know, nerd it up, hanging out at the James L. Knight Center. It's a beautiful place down in Miami. Talking all kinds of crypto projects, future, you know, what's working now, artists, NFT, the Ken Bosak Brosak crew, right? Like, you know, this is a lot of fun. So come join us if you can make it, and if not, you know, no big deal, no stress, no pressure. This is just the beginning of all this stuff. Blockchain history, right? I do have to talk about this, Mayor, before we stop, because I was talking on mute about Steam
Yeah.
banning games, and you know, we went into Engine and why I love Engine, and I love NFTs and blockchain gaming. It's not just Engine, but Engine is one of my favorites for sure. Go out there and read, you know, about Steam banning games if you want. We both kind of said the same thing when it comes to Steam. I understand corporate policy when it comes to Steam and why they can't currently allow money, you know, gambling, things that are involved in games. But that doesn't mean that has to be this way in the future. And, you know, certain rules or regulations can be made from a company standpoint to keep things fair and honest, and still use this distributed ledger blockchain technology, because that really is the future. So I was bashing Steam quite a bit, and I will continue to do that because I'm a consumer of Steam's, right? I've bought plenty of games on their platform. If you want to talk about AAA games versus what's not, or, you know, blockchain games mostly being in development still, sure, I'll agree with some of that stuff. But, you know, does it have to be a AAA game for me to enjoy it or to build a community about it? Absolutely not. And I would compare, you know, some of these quote unquote AAA games, or, you know, just some of the hundreds of thousands of games on Steam that are not even that fun, right? Versus some of the amazing things that are being developed on Unity, and these software development kits that Engine puts out for their community. People love, right? It's helping them create economies. It's helping them, you know, build games that are great to play and fun first, and then use the blockchain to enhance the experience and to provide that ownership aspect to their users and the people that are playing these games. That's the big difference, right? When I play Lost Relics, and I, you know, and I uncover a badass, you know, blockchain item, and I send it to my wallet, it's mine, right? It doesn't belong to the company anymore. It's in my wallet. I can sell it for whatever I want. I can hold it. I can trade it. All of these companies that are, you know, sorry, say companies, all of these projects that are touching level 1 Ethereum are all going through the same growing pains right now. You know, Engine is kind of doing its own thing when it comes to scaling. So they're setting up something on JumpNet right now, which is kind of their test net for Affinity, it's called. That's their layer 2 solution to moving away from, you know, micro transactions on layer 1 Ethereum. If you want to, you know, talk about that or have more questions about that, go check it out. But Engine's always near and dear to my heart. Been around a long time, you know, 10 plus years. Definitely one of the most solid companies. And it's the only government regulated token, right? So Engine is literally the only fully government, approved token in the world. Now, if that impresses you or not, that's your, opinion, but unbiased
How did
information.
that come to be? It's the only government. What do you mean by that? Because
Japan has actually
oh,
has
Japan.
adopted this, and you can trade this on any any regular currency, right? And it's been fully audited and approved for all exchanges and a
Hmm,
medium of currency, in Japan. So it's the only,
interesting.
it's the, not even Bitcoin can say that, like in some countries, right?
Well,
So
Bitcoin's adopted in El Salvador.
yeah, Bitcoin has been adapted. That's actually been some current events too. I've actually heard some people complaining about some of that stuff too. Like it's been imposed upon them, but some
Well,
companies are definitely
that's what
warming, or
governments
countries are
do.
definitely warming up to it.
Every piece of legislation that a government passes, essentially, it is imposing its will on the people.
And then we've been talking
And
about that too, and maybe that was something else that got muted before. And I don't want to, I know we're running long, and I don't want to put people to sleep too, but there's going to be a lot of debates in the future, guys. This is the beginning of all this. Is the prehistoric ages. We don't know how this stuff's going to work out in the future. That's what kind of makes it exciting too. That's what our club is about, right? Like talking about some of this stuff logically. Um, Nobody has all of the answers, right? Like we're all figuring this out as we go. Automated payment systems are definitely going to be part of the future. How that looks, is that going to be like a peg against Bitcoin? Is the US dollar going to be involved? Is Bitcoin going to be industrialized and kind of end up being that benchmark, and government regulated currencies fade away? Sure, that could happen, right? We open source money could be the future. I kind of hope it is. Just from my seat, because that's what I'm about, right? That's what I enjoy doing. That's what I enjoy kind of being part of, is the movement of open source and sharing technology and removing borders and boundaries, and kind of getting rid of some of these players that have had the deck stacked in their favor for a long, long time. And that excites me personally. I know some people are not so excited, and some people also believe that the future is not that way, right? The future is government regulated tokens, and that there's no way in hell. Quite frankly, some people think that uh, currencies have any future without government regulation. I don't know, right? That's going to be a whole lot of wait and see. Um, I'll tell you what, though, we're going to be a part of that. We're going to be right in the middle of it. We're going to be in there like swimwear, I like to say. So spreading that, information, sharing things with people. I'll tell you what we have seen in the last couple of years is NFTs enable artists, people being able to create small businesses very quickly, use the internet. The payment systems are coming along, but peer-to-peer transactions, still in their infancies as well. And you don't necessarily need Bitcoin to be cash, was what I was talking about, to be successful. I can use Bitcoin to pay for things. I can send you some right now, Mayor, if I want to. It's pretty cheap right now.
yeah, send it over.
I could, yeah, yeah. You're not getting any
Get them
Bitcoin.
sats, man.
You can tip somebody on Twitter with it now, right? Oh, that got quiet pretty quick, didn't it? But no, seriously, I don't want to buy things in Bitcoin right now. A lot of times, I'm trying to save that Bitcoin, right? So if I can spend my US dollars, I prefer that in a lot of cases. If I'm buying a cup of coffee right now from Starbucks and I have the option to pay Bitcoin, I'm paying in US dollars right now, or maybe using my Fold card, which I haven't really explored yet. But you know what I'm saying, right? I'm not trying to use Bitcoin. It's more of a novelty for me in that kind of case. Now, I like giving people out on the street Bitcoin or exposing them to it. And we want to integrate a lot of things in our community, you know, like racing for sats and like golf tournaments and these events we're organizing, and use Bitcoin and use the brand and, you know, the recognition to get more people involved. But again, if you're Satoshi, right, and you had this pure vision of it being peer-to-peer cash from, you know, my phone to yours, and everybody in the world was going to use Bitcoin exactly like that, and, you know, everyone was just going to adopt it, and every corporation and company in the entire world was going to accept Bitcoin, was that ever really realistic? I don't know. If you're Satoshi and you're looking at what's happened to Bitcoin 13 years, are you calling it a win? I don't know. I think I probably would be, right? Is it necessarily exactly the way I drew it up in my white paper? I don't, you know, that's up for interpretation. I don't know. What do you think, Mayor? Like, you know, like, what's your kind of take on that?
I mean, take on what? The future?
Yeah, any of that stuff, like Satoshi's vision, like, you know, I hear people
Well,
complaining about custodial Bitcoin, and now we've got the
I think,
ETF, and
you know, Bitcoin doesn't care. Like, first of
yes,
all, you need to understand a lot of people, if you don't have a deeper understanding of Bitcoin, Bitcoin is several things. Bitcoin is a blockchain, which is a ledger, which is just a spreadsheet basically, but it's distributed. So it's a distributed ledger. It's also software. So it's the protocol, and it's also a network. So when we talk about Bitcoin, a lot of people just don't even consider the network aspect. But when, you know, government comes along and they say, you know, we're going to shut Bitcoin down, we're going to ban it. Well, you can't ban it. It's like trying to ban air. Like,
you can't ban the
you can make a
entire,
rule, but you can't shut it down because
right.
there's too many nodes, there's too many miners, and there's too many nodes sharing the next block that's produced. So you have your network, you have your protocol, and the protocol is just there, lines of code, bang, 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 bang. It's being executed, blocks are being produced. And the block, all it is the block is produced, and your transactions go in the block, and boom, a miner is greedy, they want money, and they're gonna ram that thing through because the incentive, you know, model has been very, a lot of thought was put into it, and it's been designed quite well. So in the early days, people were mining 50 BTC blocks when it wasn't worth anything because they said, hey, in the future, it'll probably be worth something. And there was no transaction fee. Now the block reward is like 6.25 BTC. And you're also getting all the transaction fees. So in 2030, you know, it's going to be less than 1 Bitcoin per block, but there's going to be so many transaction fees because adoption has grown so heavily that the transaction fees alone are going to just be where, if every government banned it, the miners aren't going to turn off because they're going to say, we're going to take this incentive and we're going to get paid, baby. And it's just laissez-faire capitalism. If you don't have enough money to get into the next block, and there's a bunch of apes and they're slamming the gas fees. I mean, we don't call it gas in Bitcoin, but, you know, there's nothing you can do. And that's why it's beautiful, you know.
I do agree, and I bash Bitcoin and Bitcoiners all the time, but I love Bitcoin. The beauty of it, the simplicity of it. I do trust the code. I don't think about it anymore. It's just integrated into my life. Some of my short-term trading and stuff, you know, is just that. But again, my long-term strategy is just bag that Bitcoin, and I just
And
want more. There's no number, right? I'm
if
not
you look,
looking to escape from it. I'm looking to just, you know, get as much as I can and secure
and
it.
nobody has a crystal ball, and nobody knows if, you know, a quantum computer is going to come online and unravel the SHA-256 algorithm and everything goes to zero. That could happen, but if you've been in Bitcoin for more than 4 years, you're up. The longest anybody's ever had to wait to break even on their Bitcoin entry was 44 months. So if you can hold something for 44 months, historically, you're up. So like after you've been in that indoctrination phase, like you just sleep like a baby holding Bitcoin, because it's like, I don't care, man. It's up only. Like on a macro scale, it's up only. Not
And the
financial advice. Do your own
drawdowns, yeah,
research,
the
but
drawdowns versus USD become easier. And again,
yeah.
somebody might make fun of you for
And
being a hodler or whatever, but just don't listen to that, right? The
they're gonna
dollar
say,
cost averaging is a proven way to, mitigate some of that risk.
and even
And
if you're down, if you bought the top, and Bitcoin, people talk about, they cherry pick the worst, performance
right.
windows. So it's like Bitcoin's down 70%. Okay, man, like if you got in 4 years ago, you're still up like 100%. You can't most people aren't up 100% in the stock market. So it's like, I mean, I lost a ton of money briefly during, what was the black swan, March, was it March or
March
May?
last year.
March 2020,
Yeah.
black swan. I want to say March 9th, probably wrong. But I lost more money than I ever thought I would have had in my lifetime in 2017 when I entered. But guess what? I opened my portfolio. I was down 60%. I was still up like 2000% on the year. So like, how could I be mad? I was up 700% year to date, and it
I
was the
mean, that
third
seems
month
like a
of the
lifetime
year.
ago looking at it on the chart. I'm not sharing with you anymore, but yeah, that I got
So
crushed on some liquidations, automated trading that I was doing then, and I'll never forget that day in my life. But I'm still here. I was buying Bitcoin all of in there too. So proud of myself and that my own resilience, and it is
even
rewarding to like
the May
go
20,
against the grain,
actually,
right?
yeah, I was actually talking about the May dump, now that I recall it correctly. The May 2021 dump seems like forever ago. But
This is the entire new world of Bitcoin is right here, right? This is now history, in my opinion, right? And we're gonna come down and revisit some of this stuff someday, maybe. But again, we've been talking about this. Like, if you can't like do global markets or understand macro USD, you're not gonna
in
do
what
well in the future of this because
in
it's
it,
all interconnected
yeah,
now. It's a global market.
everything, that's the thing. Like, it's a free market, it's laissez-faire capitalism, and you've never seen, the reason it's blowing people's minds, and it's going to continue to blow people's minds, is they can't wrap their head around a global market because they've never seen it before.
We've never had
And
anything like this
it's
before. It's all
all
new.
your Teslas and your Amazons, like those are US equities, and I'm sure some of those are traded, I'm sure Apple and some of these are traded like on what's the FTSE 100 and all that. But when you have these third world countries like El Salvador and Zimbabwe, Bitcoin's not allowed in Zimbabwe, I believe, but there's a lot of people using it. So like, when you talk about network effect and first mover advantage, like, what do you think network effect's going to look like when 7 billion people get access to it with a mobile phone in their hand? And
Right.
a lot of them, that's all they have, but they can write down their keys, and it's not as good as, paper. It's not as good as a
That used to
hardware
be one of
wallet.
the arguments that I almost would agree with too. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you too. When you mentioned, governments banning it. Well, it's like, the government can't ban Bitcoin, right? You can't take down the Bitcoin network unless it's like brute force or some sort of like electricity event where literally every computer in the entire world is fried. You
Do we
can
still have Blockstream satellites?
Right, that's true. And you can remove the public internet from people's access, right? Which some governments have tried and, kind of like how things work in China. But the Bitcoin is still there. It's tougher to access or people don't have
Yeah.
access to it in traditional
So
ways. So,
when people say Bitcoin, you know, that it would be shut down, quote unquote, you have to understand, from a tech standpoint, we talk about uptime, like the blockchain is not, it would be very unlikely for governments to shut things off and the blockchain actually stop producing blocks. So like,
right.
you might not be able, there might be like outages like for people interfacing with. The other thing is like, I have a Bitcoin class that I teach, and I mention to people, they ask, when I mention nodes, it's like, well, do I need to run a node? You don't have to run a node, but the reason some people like to run a node is the node is like having a cell phone and being able to communicate with the network. So if you want to communicate, if I want to communicate with Biff on the Verizon network, I can call him on my cell phone and it will connect to the network, and he owns the cell phone. With Bitcoin, if you don't operate your own node, you're using someone else's node, and that's okay. But in an outage situation, if governments attacked like the Trezor servers or the Ledger Live servers, all those users wouldn't be able to connect because they don't have their own node. Where the OGs that are running, the software and have their own node with the whole blockchain file on it, a full node, as we say,
It's a
they can
great point.
communicate directly with the network.
You're not encumbered by a third party, right? So even as is today, like if I want to use my ledger, right, I have to use the ledger software, which means I have to plug my keys into ledger software on a computer, and I have to hit their network, right, to
Yeah.
basically make all that work. So it's a great point, right? There's nothing wrong with running your own node.
And
It isn't, it's cumbersome, right? It's
it's
not super
cumbersome.
slick.
It's cumbersome now. And what people need to understand is it's cumbersome now because of the blockchain file size. It's about half a terabyte or so. Now, back in 2009, 2010, 2011, most Bitcoin users ran their own node, or I would say all Bitcoin users, because you had to download the Bitcoin Core wallet and then you had to run a full node, but it was just megabytes, the
Right.
blockchain
Now
file
it's
size.
quite larger.
And this is why, if you hear people talk about the big block debate, now that it feels cumbersome to run a node, we don't want to get to a point to where we're blowing the blocks up and you have to rely on Amazon Web Services, or you have to rely on. Crypto was created and Bitcoin was created to eliminate middlemen. So you have to be careful and mindful when you start reintroducing middlemen like Coinbase, like, even I'm very weary of Jack on Twitter, Jack Dorsey, with his Casa node. He sells out of the box plug and play node. Well, who gets to push those updates? Your developers are also middlemen. So this idea of trustlessness in crypto, there is a lot of trust. You need to trust your developers, and you need to trust, do I want to accept, what if there's like a contentious hard fork coming up and I don't like it, but I'm running a Casa node and Jack Dorsey's developers push, something to my node that favors, the fork that I don't agree with. These are
It's a
things
great
that
point.
become problematic.
One of the arguments that I used to, hear, and I've been in plenty of debates about all this stuff too. And these are healthy. These are good things. These are what I
Absolutely.
love talking about, and it's what
Iron
makes
sharpens iron, right?
absolutely, absolutely. Don't get, don't get stuck in those circle jerk situations, the what do we call them, echo chambers now, right, where nobody questions
Definitely.
anybody and you just everybody's like yes, yes, yes. No, this is very different when it hits the streets out in the real world. And again, because it's so very early on, and accessibility, because you need third parties and banks to do a lot of things in the world right now, there are limitations. There's a lot of very limited activity that you can do with some of this stuff. So we keep things very real, and
I keep
objective,
it
especially,
real.
yeah, we keep it real when it comes to Bitcoin.
We keep it
But
100.
definitely one of the objection. Let me pull up your void face here while you're making fun of me too, because I like looking at this thing. One of the objections that we used to get a lot, Mayor, was that there's no use case for Bitcoin, right? Well, now all of a sudden we're going through this event and it's like, do you trust your government? Hmm. Well, maybe a currency outside of government restrictions and influence might have some value just based on the merit alone, right? So it's about trust, right? And when you're talking about money, isn't that ultimately what money is, right? Time, right? Trust, value over time, right? Time equals money equals trust, right? I mean, do I trust the Federal Reserve to print more greenbacks? Probably,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Do I trust Bitcoin to be deflationary and, pretty much on some sort of run here that is likely to continue? Yep. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And did I have questions about some of that stuff at times where I was experiencing pretty severe drawdowns and we were in the middle of bear markets staring at each other? Sure. Sure. But those days are long gone now. All right. I'm so excited about the future.
We are man,
Our
we are
club.
at the beginning of some exciting times. If
Yes.
you haven't been in crypto, okay, now if this is a double top and we get wrecked and go into a bear market, actually, you know what the the most bullish shit ever
Woo.
is? If this is a double top, we're already in a bear market. Guess what? Bear markets only last 1 year in Bitcoin, which means if we're in a bear market right now, it's almost over.
Yeah,
So
so let's just stop
the
there too.
worst
This is
case
not a
is,
bear market.
I know, but there's people that believe that. In
I know.
the worst case scenario is we're like 80% way through the bear market. If it
Remember when we
was a
were
bear,
talking about this? You remember this is the hash ribbons indicator. So right
oh
here we
yeah.
were talking about this. Oh, the hash ribbons is actually running off. So this is a perfect segue, and we'll stop here. Um, we talked about hash rate. Remember this event was the China ban, right? All these miners had to pack up and move out of China, and there was this huge event where miners capitulated, right? They had to sell, they had to move their equipment, the hash rate dipped, right? And it wasn't until it leveled off and turned around that we started seeing this price level out. Now, if you don't think there's a correlation between hash rate, difficulty, and how things work when it comes to buying and selling Bitcoin, then I don't know what to tell you, right? Because this is clinical textbook stuff, and miners still drive this market, guys. They're the ones that are holding the most Bitcoin. They're the ones that turn off or on the selling based on their costs and difficulty, right? What happened here? Well, the difficulty went way down, right? So miners started making more money, right? And then as the network stabilized, as they bring more miners, coming back onto the network, whether or not they move from China to the United States or wherever they had to set back up shop, the hash rates to stabilize, right? Now we're starting to see the difficulty will increase, and the network stabilized itself, right? It incentivized itself to add more miners, right? That's what's remarkable
And
about this whole system.
what's
So
gonna happen is in 2024 we get the next block halving. So the block reward right now is 6.25 BTC, which is created out of thin air every 10 minutes. And it enters. So that's what we call the flow. If you want to look up stock to flow ratios, that's the annual flow versus the available stock. And then you get like a ratio number. But when 2024 comes around and we have the next halving event, we're going to go to like just above like 3 Bitcoin every 10 minutes. And then 2028, we're going to have like 1.5 Bitcoin. And then 2032, we're going to be getting less than 1 BTC every 10 minutes. So I mean, everybody has different time horizons. I'm in my mid 30s. I can hold this shit until 2032. So when 2032 rolls around, like the miners can sell all they want. they're not going to have very much Bitcoin. They're not going to have very many sats because 95% of the supply is going to be in circulation by that point. And that's when I think the price is going to get so astronomically out of control, because all you're going to have is buy pressure. There's just not going to be any sell pressure. There's not going to be miners that, what the miners are getting, they're going to be getting like dust to mine blocks. I mean, they're going to be eating off the transaction fees,
Sure.
but
But that
you
will
know,
increase, in that world, in that land as well.
absolutely.
And the ETF stuff, we were talking about that too. But the reason why I'm bullish on the ETF is not this ETF that just got approved, right? More paper trading stuff, futures, is not going to, directly impact price. If anything, it gives more avenues for, kind of more shady stuff to happen with futures. But what's going to happen is this opens up the door now. Now you got a US Bitcoin ETF. Well, what's the next step? Well, the next step is what Grayscale is trying to do, where they basically have an ETF, but it's spot, right? So that means it's a
Yeah.
physical ETF. That means they have to actually have Bitcoin in a vault. And that is when
That's
the
what's
whole
funny
world is
is
going to change, right? Like
every
that
time
is
you, every time they talk about this on Bloomberg, they're like, and this is backed by physical Bitcoin. I just laugh every time I hear physical Bitcoin. Like,
that's the only way to describe it, right? Because
but it's
futures
like
trading, paper trading is not the same,
it's backed by physical Bitcoin. There's a bunch of Bitcoin in a vault somewhere. Like, okay, no, there's keys, but you guys don't understand that because you've been looking at commercials with gold Bitcoins bouncing around
Well,
for,
maybe we need Sailor to come give us a tutorial on, corporate strategies for housing Bitcoin.
you
But hey,
know,
that's actually a legitimate.
I read that what the Winklevosses did is it is do you say Winklevosses or
Winklevi.
Winklevi the Winklevi twins? What I read that they did was hang on, I gotta take a sip of
Yeah,
water here.
take a sip of water, man. I think we're done here anyway. That's
Ah,
a good closing.
but I read that they actually shredded their keys and they went around and like broke them up and deposited them into like multiple safety deposit boxes across the Midwest. How crazy is that?
So even if they wanted to go get it, it would require some pretty serious effort.
Right. Which could be total bullshit because that's what I would say if I had it buried in my backyard and I was sitting on like
Yeah,
1% of the
yeah,
Bitcoin supply. But
yeah.
that is probably the only way to custody it when you have that much Bitcoin.
That's
And
something good
like,
to think about. Like
that's a good custody solution, and a good tip is split your shit up, man. Don't
that's
keep
what
it
I would
all
do.
on one
If I
ledger.
had a
Like,
billion
split
dollars
it
worth of
up.
Bitcoin, I would probably put it on 100 different ledgers and spread it out all
Yeah.
over the place. Now, the question becomes, how do you keep track of all that? Um,
Spreadsheets on
yeah,
a
well,
USB drive.
safely
Uh,
and yeah, yeah. Well, that's probably another topic for
encrypted
another show.
USB drive.
Yeah, that's a good topic for another show.
Yeah,
We'll leave it at
it
that.
was good. Hopefully, if you're available Saturday, we can do this
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Saturday
We'll get this
Bitcoin.
thing
Or
back running and get some promotions, get some NFTs loaded up. Obviously, gearing up towards Miami in November too. But looking forward to kind of getting back. It's more about allocating our resources to be more efficient at this point, because we've done a lot of different things and we've learned a lot of things and we've tried a lot of different tools and Telegram, social media, Discord, like we talked about. But we need to tie it all together. And we have got some big plans. We're also shopping for a developer too, so spread the word, guys. Like, we're looking for somebody to kind of join our team, work with us. There's a lot of developers out there doing some pretty amazing things when it comes to websites and cryptocurrency and worldwide, Web3. But they're in high demand and short supply right now. So if you're thinking about learning some of this stuff, get in there, get your feet wet, get your hands dirty. Don't be afraid. If we can steer you in the right direction too. If you have any questions about engine, the software development kit, Polygon, the mayor of Maddox here, questions for Doc. We're into NFTs now. I mean, the list goes on and on because it's not any one network anymore. I mean, we're talking about Solana today, and Litecoin doing its thing in gaming, and PEPE is on Bitcoin, and obviously Ethereum, and the list is just going to go on and on. And it's just going to get more and more, and interoperability will be a huge part of the future, and the way I things see things working a lot more seamlessly and
Yeah, can you even
quickly.
remember that like we were talking about interoperability in the bear market like 2019? It was like
Yeah.
it was like, bro, interoperability, bro. The blockchains are going to be interoper. What does that mean? It means you're going to be able to like send stuff from Ethereum
Chain
to
to
another blockchain.
chain.
People are like,
Yeah, whatever.
whoa,
There's still some
no
people
way,
stuck in
man.
that mentality, like, oh, my blockchain is better than yours. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, no. It's a
Well,
public money
listen,
system, bro.
everybody's invested, and you're not supposed to be emotional, but
They
it's
are.
very hard
Everybody
not to
is.
be when
Sure, sure. But again,
riding the wave.
we've got a lot of stuff to build, not just as a community in our club, but the way I'm looking at it is as a human race right now, right? So if this can kind of help us, if open source money can kind of help us remove some of those restrictions and burdens and things that are keeping innovation from happening, then I'm all for it. And we're gonna be part of that. We're gonna be all up in there, man. And appreciate you joining me as always. Uh, Doc will get on stream next week. He was watching hockey tonight, taking much needed breather as well. This whole vacation thing was super nice. Just kind of recharging the batteries a little bit, so to speak. So we'll put something together for a Saturday stream. We'll get some more promos running. Get those Telegram setups going as well. So jump in our Telegram if you're not in there. Jump on our website if you're not. Definitely follow us on the socials. We're linked up all over the place. Very global game now, as we've been talking about. If you're an NFT artist and you're struggling right now, don't get discouraged. Markets are just saturated. You got to find your niche. Reach out to your community. Figure out who's supporting you. Right? Don't go chasing the big accounts. Looking for coattails, right? And remember, it's some of your friends and some of the smaller people that are there to support you and that are really going to help you. So you don't have to shoot for the stars, right? You can hit singles and do just fine. And if you're looking to go, a professional run at something, you're looking at generating income, right? You don't need to hit a home run all the time. Anything else? Any closing words, Mayor?
Uh, yeah.
Next time I'll
I'm
try to
sure
make sure that my effing mic is working. Really
it's
sorry
all
about
good.
that, guys. No, it's embarrassing. But again, it's been a while for me too, so happy to be back on here.
Yeah, head over to my channel and follow me. I'm going to be doing a
Oh
lot
yeah,
of live
let's plug
streaming
you on
slash mayor
Twitch
backslash mayor of Matic on Twitch and at mayor of Matic on Twitter.
and get the Twitch up,
And
Mayor.
you know, we're degens. We're on Twitter all day. We're dropping charts. We're dropping alpha. We're calling the bottoms. We're calling the tops. So follow us, hit us up. You can DM me on Twitter, and yeah, and follow at Goldman Stacks with two N's and two X's on Twitter. And
Yeah, and we might have
Biff's
been
got all the links.
talking. It's on our links on the YouTube as well. Your Void, degen AR screen looks awesome, and we were talking about that kind of at the beginning as well. If you missed that,
Yeah, if
we'll
you
we'll
want,
put their information on the
if you're
YouTube link.
interested in the art, go to OpenSea and search Void. I'm a degen. You got to secure the NFT, secure the bag, and then you can go talk to my man TMD Animation at TMD Animation on Twitter.
TMD. I'll put that in the
About
chat.
point 0.2 Ethereum, I think he's charging for the lens. It's a Snapchat filter lens. You run it on third party app on PC. And we'll see you guys on Saturday, hopefully.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome. I
Hopefully
appreciate
Bitcoin's
it.
at 70K and Maddox banging through the roof and we're all getting rich.
Well, we'll definitely keep an eye on it. You know, no matter what happens, we'll try to give you guys the objective feedback and information and all the fun stuff and all the games and hotness that's coming out of the play to earn blockchain, you know, gaming space. I used the word space, damn it. I made it through a whole stream and I ended up using the word space at the very end. But you know what I'm saying, guys? There's a lot going on, and that's what our club is about, right? And some of us are about more about art, some of us are more about NFTs, some of us are more about trading, you know, and pure cryptocurrency, some of us are more about global markets. That's what the greatest part about being a club and collective is, and we're still very early on in this. So come join us, right? It doesn't cost anything to just you know, be along for the ride, right? And use our experiences and information to help you make better decisions as a consumer, right? It's just that simple at the end of the day. So appreciate you guys for joining us. Appreciate the follows. Appreciate the feedbacks. Hit those buttons. That's how we get this message out there. We're gonna stacks the planet. You know, again, this is just the beginning. You know, super looking forward to meeting more of you guys. Don't be shy. Yeah, don't be shy at all. We love interacting and talking to people, and you know, there's no bad questions, guys. Again, the only bad questions are the ones that get that never get asked, right? That are left
Or the ones
unasked.
that get answered with the mic off.
Yeah, or the ones that get answered with the mic off, which I'll try to do. Thanks for stabbing me again. I appreciate that, but no. You know, we're real people, right? And we're just having fun, and we were on a phone call
No,
and decided to stream this thing, and you know, forget to push a
it's all
button, and
good.
there you go. So we're real live people, and doing supporting real live people doing real live things out in the real live world. Yeah. So holla at us.
And the metaverse.
And the
The
metaverse
not live
now.
world.
Yeah, which is a whole new world connecting
Come holler at
all of this
us.
stuff.
We'll see you guys on Saturday.
All right, man. I'm gonna hit the ending soon. Play some tunes on the way out. Mayor, have a good night. Peace to everyone. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you
Good night.
next time.